Could giving students more options hurt public schools? You see, the Florida legislature is making moves towards expanding the voucher program. It helps low-income families send their kids to private schools.
However, some teachers, and specifically teachers' unions, believe this would actually hurt public schools. Renata DiGregorio is on your side this morning with more from both sides of this issue. Good morning, Renata.
Good morning. So this year, 18,000 students get vouchers for the Family Empowerment Scholarship. So what this new Senate bill would do, it would increase that every year so that 30,000 new students can apply for it every year. But the division here is who this would help and who it could hurt. More options for learning.
Education is not one size fits all.
Or hurting education in public schools.
It's the what if that worries me. What could be cut.
The bills making their way through the legislature would let more students from low and middle income families be eligible for scholarships to private schools. Step Up for Students connects families to these scholarships.
She felt like the school was able to reach her kids in ways that the prior school couldn't. We've heard stories of kids being bullied. The public school could be great, but it's not meeting the need of this particular child.
Our neighborhood schools, I believe, truly have what every child needs.
But the leaders of teachers' unions see this as taxpayer money taken away from public schools and going to less accountable entities.
That's money that could be used, as I said before, to fill those critical shortage areas like teaching and bus drivers.
Some of the private schools getting vouchers have anti-LGBTQ policies, the Orlando Sentinel revealed in January. The sponsor of the Senate bill says they want to cut down the wait list for the program, which has 35,000 kids.
If we properly funded and gave the resources to our neighborhood schools, I don't even think this would be an issue.
Where to put money to help Florida students, that's where Floridians are divided.
We've got to create as many options to satisfy the needs of parents and students and help them find schools where they can succeed.